So I thought I was going to make this video on one topic, and basically what I found is more interesting, way more interesting. I wanted to talk about what happens or how people treat you after getting like a cosmetic surgery. I chose cosmetic surgery because I've had surgery, and also it's interesting to me to see how other people who've got, like, let's say their butt done, how life is a little different for them afterwards. I know with doing something like clearing up your acne or you know, changing your skin tone, you know, those results are more gradual, and so it's like you ease into this new life. With something like this, it's pretty jarring. Like, you just get that instant gratification. I want to talk a little bit about why it's important to also get to a healthy space mentally before you do anything like this, before you go to whatever surgery or whatever you're doing to level yourself up. Because if you are not in a healthy mental space, if you are not able to love yourself even right now while you're leveling up, then you're never going to be fully satisfied. And so that's why it's very, very important to talk about this. I know we always talk about what to do to change this, to change that, to boost glutathione, but we don't really talk about your mental and your headspace, because we can do this all day long and it's only going to change your life so much. And even if you are getting more attention from people and you feel like it's positive attention, you're still going to maybe get a little bit of negative attention from people who have always seen you and who know what you really look like. But also you might get sucked into this way of thinking of, I need to go more, and you'll never be satisfied. The reason why I wanted to do this video is because there's these girls that I followed maybe like 2 years ago, and they're twins, and they're both like pretty petite Latinas, which in the US I feel like Latinas and Black women are probably one of the most, you know, sexualized of the, you know, ethnic groups. I thought it was really interesting that one day they were recording, and they weren't doing anything, but they were kind of recording on the down low, and you could hear they're at the bank, and there are these girls who are also in another area of the bank, and they're just talking crap about these two girls who had their butts done. Now, they're wearing normal clothes, you know, they're not wearing anything crazy revealing, but they got the type of implants or injections where you can like definitely notice that something is different. Like, you can tell, there's no hiding it. Even if they were to put on a dress or something that was like 3 times too big, you can't hide what the doctors have done. And so it was like my first time seeing that not only are they getting more attention from men, but there are also other people in their community, even when they're running down to the bank, who are also giving them crap in their day-to-day life. Even if, you know, you finally get something done, just know you're going to probably have new problems, you know, different problems. And I thought back on when I got my boobs done, and so it was something that I had always wanted for many years. And so I went from a B to a triple D overnight. And it was interesting because, yes, I did get, you know, attention. Maybe men were a little more aggressive with catcalling and things like that, because it was different on my frame, even though, I mean, I feel like it fits my body, but still, like, you know, there's a difference from going from a B to a triple D. So what was so interesting about it is that I noticed that I still got attention even prior. So even before, when I was just wearing, you know, my push-up bras that like made my boobs like look like they're like full C's, you know, I still got attention then, and I still got attention afterwards, but the attention kind of changed. It was just more aggressive. So the guys who are more fearless and who really go after women aggressively, you know, they just did that even more. That was the big difference for me. But on the inside, I felt much more confident and I felt great about them. I was really, really excited about them. But I will be honest with you, there's a lot of people who get augmentations, who get different types of surgeries, and they're not satisfied. There are some people who like to have them removed a couple of years later. Sometimes it could be for they feel like it's causing them health issues, or others are like, you know what, I didn't really need this, and they're like, my life was just fine before. So, you know, there is a bit of remorse afterwards. Like, that isn't unheard of. But for the most part, whatever your life was prior, it's like these things are only going to change it so much. And, you know, definitely it's going to change in different ways. I've definitely met friends, and after we get to know each other and we're comfortable around each other, like, they've definitely admitted that they and their husband have went through like all of my photos to try to find like my before, because they were talking to each other trying to figure out if my boobs are real or not. So, you know, it's something where men and women are both definitely going to notice, and people are going to be very curious about it. And so if you feel a little uncomfortable about the people who are close to you or the new people in your life that you'll meet, and them trying to figure out what you've done, if you got it done or if you didn't, then just know like that's just a kind of a spotlight that will be on you. Obviously I was kind of embarrassed, but at the same time, just internally, I felt so good after my augmentation, and I still do. But, and this is where things get interesting, even afterwards, because after you get like one boob job, just know you will have to get more. If you have a child, you'll probably have to get them done again. After about, I think it's 9 to 10 years, you should always get them replaced. And also if you have like a significant amount of weight gain or weight loss, you might notice that they don't look quite the same. So there are many different reasons of why you'd have to get them done again. So I was talking to my friend, I was like, you know what, this next time I feel like I want to go even larger. And she was just like, no, like why? And it kind of opened my eyes up that me getting them larger isn't going to do anything for me. And I didn't really want them larger. Like I had like, I don't know, somehow I got sucked into this more is better, but really it's not. What I really want is just the internal bra where they kind of bring your boobs closer together. So getting my boobs bigger, that's not really wanted. I just wanted them to sit closer together. That's it. But it just goes to show you that you can get these things done and you can feel like you're happy and you would still want something more done. So reading about this, hey everyone, so my husband doesn't support my decision to get a BBL. Has anyone else had this same issue and how did you deal with it? They say, thanks for the great question, as I was wondering the same thing. I'm 5 weeks post-op BBL and butt implants, and mine didn't support the idea at all before surgery. He did support very well though by coming with me to surgery and picking me up. Now the first few weeks after surgery, the hardest times of healing, he did help with taking care of me, but had a really nasty mouth on him while doing it. The past few weeks have been better now that I've been taking care of myself more, 75 to 80% independently. He doesn't have the nasty mouth like before. I'm guessing he was under stress from taking care of me. I can understand that, but yes, I still resent him for the way he talked to me during those first few weeks. He is a little angel now and treats me better than before surgery, like I'm his queen. I like this, but I'm not happy now because he can't get it up. I think he has emotionally been through a lot and think he is scared of hurting me with implants and lipo, as they did it all along my back, flanks, and abdomen. It was hard for us to hug or do any regular sex positions, so I know that has impacted our sex life. Yesterday we wanted to have sex, but when I turned my booty facing him, his winker dinker went down immediately. I think it's the scars on my booty line and the lipo scars that turned him off. I told him they would go away after a few months and not to worry. We had a long emotional talk and both cried to each other about our feelings. So basically now we are emotionally on a deep level, but the sex life is way messed up. All I can say is more than likely, most women with husbands or boyfriends that are not supportive and decide to go through with the plastic surgery of any kind will probably experience a whirlwind of emotions and a roller coaster of a relationship, if it even works out. I read a lot of posts like these on here with a crazy amount of bad outcomes, relationship-wise. It's sad that women have to deal with when all we want is to please ourselves and be happy. Personally, I know mine is insecure deep down, and my surgery is intensifying those emotions for him. Plus, the stress and scars will do it too. I would suggest having an open, non-judgmental talk about how you want the relationship to work, but needed support. It might not be pretty, but at least y'all can be on the same level of respect and trying to understand each other. I hear for some women, it might not be months until sex life gets back to normal. At this point, I hope I get laid soon because I really am liking my surgery results. So talking about the scars, after any type of surgery, there are going to be scars. Thankfully, there are lots of treatments you can go get to have these scars lightened, and then you can even have them either camouflaged over, which is a type of tattooing. It's not as permanent as tattooing. I would say it's more like getting your eyebrows microbladed. It'll last longer than microblade. So microblade usually lasts between 2 to 3 years, but for stretch mark camouflage or even any scar camouflage, it's gonna last for closer to 6 to 7 years, they say. But honestly, this is so new, we really don't know how long it's gonna last, but there are things you can do. And so there are definitely lots of women who go to get their lipo scars lightened and then camouflaged over. So obviously scars, you can work around scars, but I think it's interesting that she said the roller coaster of emotions that happen. I was in a serious relationship when I got my boobs done, and he was very, very insecure. So if you're thinking about leveling up, I highly recommend you do it when you are single, and then whoever you meet, you know, you've already gone through the healing process, all of the dirty stuff, you know, the scars, whatever happens, you know, you've you've already healed and you're able to, if you want to get those lightened, you can. If you want to get them camouflaged, you can. But it is kind of stressful and is kind of difficult to make such a big change when you're already in a relationship. Also, I'm thinking about my neighbors actually. They are kind of in the middle of a separation to divorce, and while this has been ongoing, obviously there's a lot of back and forth of should we stay together. They have like 5 children. But she actually just recently went and she got lipo done, and then I think she got a breast augmentation too. It was either the lipo and breast augmentation, or they were taking the fat from her abdomen and her flanks and they were putting it somewhere else. So it was one of the two. But I was just talking with my other friend and I was like, yeah, usually when people like their divorce or their long-term relationship starts going south, they'll start to like level up, and it definitely is going to affect your partner, and especially if things aren't completely settled, it might actually push you guys more to the brink of breaking up, of not being together anymore. So usually when you do surgeries or something drastic for some relationships, if there's already insecurity in that relationship, it will like intensify it, and you will notice that things won't really last that much longer. So I like how she said that she noticed even on this site, there's lots of stories of, relationships not surviving after this. So if you are doing something, kind of drastic, that's going to completely change your look, whether it's with your skin, and you're going several shades, lighter, or even if you were tanning and you're going several shades darker, where you look like a completely different ethnicity, you're going to have some things in your day-to-day life, and it's not all going to be sunshine and rainbows. Also, I feel like there might be those people in your life who, care about you, but also are not going to like the newfound attention that you're getting. So it's not all about the positivity around it, or people saying that your body goals, or giving you compliments. There's also going to be some negativity. And so I think internally with your mindset, you have to know that you just have to be in a good place prior. I like kind of what some of the law of attraction YouTubers will say about when you're trying to change your appearance, how you're already acting like you're there. So let's say you do want to get your butt done. I would still do your squats, do your leg lifts, do your deadlifts, do all of that. Eat more protein. You definitely need to be, upping your caloric intake, but do all of that and start to get to a place where you feel good with these changes. And so instead of when you're looking at yourself, you're thinking, I can't wait to get my butt done, just start to be like, oh, I'm so glad where my butt is right now. I like how it's taking shape, and just act as if you've already gotten your surgery done, and do this even prior to getting your surgery, even prior to even saving the money to get your surgery. And honestly, I feel like it'll speed things up, because something weird happens and it's like you take off importance from that thing that you want, but also you're in a good mental space. So you're probably going to be one of those people who, after you get it done, you don't feel like you need to go back and get it done again. Like you don't feel like you need to go do 5 other things after you get this one surgery done. Like you're going to be able to feel fulfilled and just enjoy your results more, because it's a slippery slope to body modifications and feeling like you need to do more and more and more.